Hey, welcome to the Tolleson-Mack podcast. This podcast is brought to you also by Hauser Built Farms. The boys up in Camp Verde are still cranking out the nice beds. And if you know anything about hay, you know that those are the retriever beds that have.
You've heard of them.
We've heard of them. Mm-hmm. We've heard of them. So how about the guest we have today? Really doesn't need much of an introduction, but he's Anthony Gose. He's a Major League Baseball player. And actually, Brandon, I'm going to let you kind of take over this a little bit. Why don't you roll down what you know?
Man, I don't know very much. I would like him to kind of figure out how our relationship started, I guess.
Tell the story how you guys met. That's a pretty cool story.
I want to say it was July 4th, and it was going to be my first bullpen. And I stand out on the field all the time, playing catch and stretching and running, and I just watch these doves fly over all the time. I watch dove. I'm watching these birds fly and fly. And
your teammates ever were like, what are you looking at, bro?
Some of the coaches that are out there, they'll like look at me like, what are you doing? I'm just like, yeah, that's my other friend right there.
That's my jam. That's my jam.
So I've asked to shoot birds on the field. So I asked the ground crew one day, and they were like, yeah, we don't care. I was like, we don't work out on Sundays. If I came out here on Sundays, nobody's out here, and I shot birds. And they're like, yeah, we don't care, but you got to talk to Amiro, the guy in charge. And I said, okay. So I go up to Amiro, and I said, Amiro, what's it going to take for me to shoot these birds out here on a Sunday? I said, there's 2 Sundays in dove season. What's it going to take? Like, do I have to pay? Like, buy you some diapers for your kid? I don't know. What is it going to take?
Whatever.
And he's like, I don't care. I'll talk to the grounds crew. I said, well, the grounds crew told me to talk to you. They said they don't care. What do you think? He's like, I don't think it'll be a problem. And then a couple days later, I'm driving to the field, and I started thinking, what if I sat in those trees and I shot them as they were coming over? But I don't know who owns that field or the farmers or anything. So I said, one of these days, I'll catch them out there. Sure enough, July 4th comes around. I'm headed to the field. It's my first bullpen coming off Tommy John surgery. And, I'm excited about that. But I see a guy out there on a tractor, and I said, this is my time.
This is the time to go. This is go time.
Yep. So I pulled over, turned on the hazards, and I walk out there to him and said, hey, I'd like to know, can I shoot dove on this field back here and sit under those trees? And he goes, yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem. I don't care, but you should probably talk to the boss and ask him. And I said, well, do you have his number? And he said, yeah. So he gave me Brandon's number. He's like, his name is Brandon. And I was like, well, I play for Cleveland, the field. I'm going here to work out. And I pulled up a picture of myself so he didn't think I was crazy. I'm like, this is me right here. And I just want to shoot dove. And he gave me Brandon's number. And, within like 30, I don't even know if I got out of the truck yet. I went and parked, and I was texting Brandon hey, this is who I am. I love to hunt. Do you think it'll be an issue if I could sit out there and shoot dove? And he got back to me and said, well, I got a dairy farm to shoot some pigeons at. And I said, now we're talking.
Good game. I like it.
So how about that? A guy literally on his way to a major league deal, little training deal. All he's thinking about is, shit, I can shoot these doves. I got to get a hold of that guy on the tractor.
He sees that swather going, and I remember Playa called me, and he's just like, baseball player. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then on my phone, boom, I read it, and then the rest is history. So I'm glad it's win-win. Pigeons are a pain in the ass over there. Shit pigeons. On everything.
I can do it every single day.
And he does. What'd you get the first day? You text me some numbers.
It was like 84 I picked up. Yeah. There's some that land on top of the roofs. There's some that drift off, and they're like.
Yeah, he said he's calling home telling them, you don't know what I got over here.
You don't know, but keep it quiet. Don't be telling everybody else in the big leagues they'll be out here, right?
No, that's the most relaxing, peaceful thing. And I get a kick out of it. The first day I went out there, I said to myself, I should record this. This is unbelievable. They wouldn't stop flying. It was the middle of the day. It was
I met you at 1:00 in the afternoon.
1:00, 118 degrees.
I was like, you can park over in the shade. He was out in the middle. I was like, holy moly, he's dedicated.
Yeah, I just wanted to shoot birds. This morning I drove to 4 different Walmarts and picked up 600 shells. They're stacked up in my back seat right now.
You're going to get a call from the ATF one day, and they're going to be like, we have this listing, and you're buying all these shells, and then you're getting on all these planes flying around the world. And you're gonna have to literally explain to him the whole story you just told us.
What's crazy is my dad texted me. I went out today before I came back. Came over here. I was out there. I probably shot over 100, like 167 shots.
Are they not believing you at home?
Oh, I have pictures.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We got proof. We got proof.
I've been showing your pictures.
I've got a. I'm bound to get in trouble for this. I don't even know if it's legal to say on here, but I've been stacking up a boneyard.
I bet.
There's probably 700 plus pigeons in this boneyard.
And that's good.
Yeah, they're a nuisance out
Hey, well, the first day he texted me a picture, and I texted back, "You only got 1 million to go." Well, he's on it.
He's on it.
He's on it.
He ain't backing off the million to go.
No.
You told the wrong person.
I know.
So where else do you go hunt besides the dairy and off of elk?
I mean, I've hunted Nebraska, Wyoming for waterfowl. Those are some of the more special places I've been. I've been to Canada for ducks. Incredible, blow your mind.
Didn't you say you went down to Louisiana?
I've been to Louisiana. I've been to Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, Michigan. Hunted birds in Ohio.
Is it just kind of like your getaway? Like you can go out there and forget about the majors and forget about whatever you got going on, and that's your jam?
Yeah, I mean, it is. I love it. My dad loves it. My brother loves it. My grandfather loved it.
That's
my
awesome.
dad's dad. My mom's dad loves to shoot rabbits and squirrel hunt.
Where are you from?
I went to high school in Bellflower. I went to high school in Bellflower, California.
Okay.
And we would go down to Salton Sea and Nyland. I've been out to Blythe before and shot birds. My family's from Alabama, so we deer hunted out there. Grew up deer hunting out there. I've deer hunted in Missouri, Illinois, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky.
Not many people
No.
know where Nyland, California is, but I do. I grew cotton there, remember?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
is that like west,
North
east?
of Brawley?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little north of Brawley up there by the
I've
Salton
out by
Sea.
the Salton Sea.
Yep.
I've like would dove hunt out there.
Oh yeah. Well, they so like when you grow cotton up there, you grow hay up there, and I don't know if this is everywhere, but I just know about Nyland. But like, say you got 80 acres, you have to every once in a while plant a strip of like sorghum or a strip of corn or something like that. You know, maybe Sudan, something that gets seed on it, and that's their way to protect their bird habitat. Like
Wow.
you have to incorporate that into your farming, so that's why the birds are prevalent there. They're really good.
So you grew up hunting. This has been in your blood. This is just like baseball. Then this is
My whole life.
So
Grew up
baseball
hunting,
hunting is it's close, or which one? You gotta have a love for one more than the other one.
I tell people,
One pays better.
I
Yeah.
tell you what, it's a lot better.
One pays for the other one.
I love farming and podcasting, but I love one a little more.
Yeah.
I would give it all up to play baseball.
Yeah, that's cool.
I love the game. I love to watch the game. I love to play. I love talking about it. I would give it all up to play ball.
Yeah,
Everything. Everything in my life is expendable, in my opinion,
yeah,
to play baseball.
yeah.
So let's talk about your baseball career a little bit. You were an outfielder, right?
I was drafted as an outfielder in 2008.
And what round was that?
Second round,
Second round. What pick overall?
51st.
Okay, okay. And that was to Toronto,
No, that was to the Phillies.
to the Phillies. Okay.
And then in 2010, I was traded for Roy Oswalt
Wow.
and two other guys.
That's a hell of a name to be traded for.
Yeah,
That's pretty
traded
cool.
for him to Houston, and then immediately traded for Brett Wallace to Toronto.
Okay.
That's how I ended up in Toronto. That was 2010, and then I made my major league debut in 2012 against the Yankees in Yankee Stadium.
How'd you do that day?
I was 1 for 2 that day. My first big league hit was my second at bat against Boone Logan.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Clay Rapata. Boone Logan was the first at bat I had. I faced Clay Rapata my second at bat, bunted the ball back to him and beat it out.
Yeah. Is that yeah, it's just crazy to me. That's crazy.
How was it playing the Yankees?
It was fun. I mean, I was young. I was just excited to be there, be out there. I didn't really think much of it. I mean, the first ball I hit and put in play was the Derek Jeter. That was the first ball I put in play. A ground ball to Derek Jeter throws me out. You know,
You're
you're
like,
running down the line thinking you're going to beat it out.
Yeah, you're hustling.
Yeah.
You're hustling.
But you're not going to beat it out. I mean, you know, he's the captain, the best.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't make mistakes.
Yeah. How was the grind to make it there? I mean, did you single A, double A? Did the whole way up the process, or was there a fast? Did you bump up, or did you have to go through the whole grind to make the bigs?
No, I
As
mean,
far as-
the first time I made it up, like I looked back on it and was like, that was like it went pretty fast.
Mhm.
You know, took me 3.5 years to get to the big leagues.
Yeah.
I was 21 standing in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Playing against the Yankees. CC Sabathia started that night. You know, then we were headed to Boston.
Yeah.
Crazy. So I went. You know, I got drafted. I
goosebumps.
played 11
I
games.
know, that's my jam right there.
I got goosebumps.
I played 11 games in rookie ball, and then the next year I went to full season, and then I went, you know, low A, high A, double A, and I spent half a season in triple A that year, and then I played in the Futures game, was in the big leagues
Okay.
on July 17th, so right after the All-Star break.
Wow.
And this whole time you were playing outfield?
I was an outfielder. So I
Yeah.
played the outfield until 2017. That was my first year pitching.
And how did that transition take place? How did you go from playing in the outfield to pitching?
Well, when you can't hit at a good enough level to perform at a high enough level, you know, sometimes you got to make a change, and I thought it was a good time to make a change.
Had you pitched before?
In high school, well, in high
Pitched high
school, I was up to 97 in high school.
But so when you got drafted, there was no community. You never told the coach like I could throw that. Like, no one knew. You just,
Oh yeah, they knew.
Oh,
I
they
didn't want
knew?
to pitch. I
Oh.
wanted to play the outfield.
So you got recruited somewhat as in high school as a pitcher.
Yeah,
Okay.
But you wanted to play the outfield.
I wanted to play the outfield.
Yeah.
I wanted to go out there and play every day. I wanted to run the bases. I love playing the outfield. That was
It's
like
baseball. It was the
Catching the
feeling.
ball and everything else.
every day you got to go out there and play, and I loved it. I didn't want to pitch, and then it got to a point where I felt like I was at a point where I was kind of backed into a corner, like not by anybody's doing, but like I just didn't perform at a high enough level, and I didn't want it to stop. So I asked to start pitching. 2017 after camp. When they told me I wasn't going to make the team out of camp, I asked to start pitching, and I threw 10 innings that year in high A in Lakeland, Florida, and I hurt my elbow, tweaked my UCL that year. Got 2 injections in it, rehabbed the whole off season, and then I went and I signed with the Rangers as a free agent. Was Rule 5 picked by Big League Rule 5 picked by the Astros. Showed up to camp with them. Was there for 3 weeks. They sent me back to the Rangers, and then I went to high A and double A with the Rangers pitching that year. It's kind of up and down. Didn't do all that well, and got a call. You know, as a free agent that offseason from Cleveland, the only team to call me. I showed up to camp.
What year was that?
That was 2000. That was 2018. So
They were still the
2019,
Indians.
They were still the Indians.
So we can call them the
2019.
Indians. Okay, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's frowned upon now.
Yeah, we got to be careful. We're talking about killing birds and Cleveland Indians. We got all kinds of shit going on over here.
Yeah. We're walking a fine line.
Yeah, we're on a fine line right now. We're stressing Craig out over here because you don't know where do I hit bleep. I don't know.
There's gonna be some editing.
Yeah,
here.
there's gonna be some editing going on. So in 18,
I was
Cleveland
with the
called you.
Rangers, and then that offseason, Cleveland called, offered me a job. They're the only team to call me and offer me a job. Said I was going to minor league camp. You know, if that's your only job, you got to go. You want to keep playing. I showed up and didn't really pitch all that well in camp, and it was kind of up and down, still learning things. And they offered me my release or go to extended. Well, I knew in the offseason I didn't have any other offers to go play anywhere, so I said I'll go to extended. So I stayed here in Arizona, and one of my best friends, nobody means more to me in this organization than Joel Mangrum. He took me under his wing, and now I was there with a lot of pitching coaches. Don't get me wrong. Everybody tried to help me and guide me and, get me to throw strikes. I had a good arm, but throwing strikes is a big thing. But he really took the time out and spent a lot of time with me and kind of helped me along the way and showed me how to do things, how to move right, mechanically, throw the ball, and that's when things started to improve. And I've been with them since 2019 now.
And you're just how does that go? Like, so you're having a hard time hitting, and they're basically telling you like, hey, you're not hitting well, you're gonna be gone. And you say, well, let me pitch. So do the coaches jump up out of their chairs and go out there and watch you pitch, or like, I mean, how does that work? Like, because to a normal guy, I don't know. I mean, to a normal guy, I'm thinking, man, you're standing in the office, they're telling you, you're leaving, and you're like, no, whoa, 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 I can pitch.
And I want to know, like, so the day that you said, all right, come watch, let's go out here and follow me, and then you wham, that first, like, when they're like, oh, was there a moment like that where they're like, oh, maybe?
I mean, because you pitch in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I've been up to 101.
Yeah.
101. There's not
many
it's a
guys
short
at
list
101.
for 101, right? In the big leagues? That's a
You'd be
short
amazed
list.
at how many guys can throw that hard.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still a short list.
Yeah, it's probably not a very long
It's
list,
still
but
pretty
you would,
impressive,
you would be amazed at how many people
Yeah.
now. I mean, there's high school kids throwing that hard.
Yeah.
now.
but not for very long.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got a few years out of it before my elbow gave out, and now I'm working my way back from Tommy John. But I mean, it was kind of a weird thing. They tell me I'm not going to make the team, and you're sitting there like bummed out, like, hey, I'm not going to make this team. Like, I go back to my locker thinking, is this it? Like, is this the end of the road for me? And I'm sitting there packing up my stuff, and I'm like, is it time to, like, hey, what if we give this a shot? So I walk back in the office and I knock on the door. Hey, can I speak with y'all? And they say, yeah, what do you got? And I said, I'd like to start pitching, try pitching. Now, from that first conversation to that, when I said about pitching, everybody's mood changed. Everybody's attitude changed. It was kind of like, hey, you're not going to make this team. We're going to send you to AAA, go to minor leagues, play. We got a bunch of guys down there that need to get some time and play. And I said, I want to start pitching. And the whole mood changed. And I can be pretty much, like, I can be a clown and say some things that I probably shouldn't say. So, they start asking me questions and they go like, you think you can still do it? I said, I mean, I don't even know what you can say on these podcasts or not.
You say
We're
anything you
open.
want.
Don't worry about it.
Trust me.
So I said,
And we got Craig.
I said, yeah, I mean, how fucking hard could it be? You throw the ball in the glove, right?
I like it.
That's my response.
Mhm.
I'm sitting in the room and people start laughing and smiling like, oh, go.
Hey, but if I'm sitting in that room, I'm like, I'm getting this motherfucker.
That's what I want to hear.
They're like, oh yeah, now I'm the funny guy again. Everything's good, everything's smoothed over. And they said, well, you can't just throw the ball by everybody in this league. I said, well, I tell you what, the guys I can't throw by, I'll fucking drill them, and then I'll just strike out everybody else.
Great plan.
Yeah.
Everybody's laughing again, ha ha ha. Everything's
It's a
going
Charlie
good.
Sheen approach.
Yeah, some crazy shit. And I'm just kind of talking out of my ass, and I don't, last time I pitched was 10 years ago, 11 years ago in high school. I threw only a couple of games my senior year. I didn't really throw that many games, and so in my head it's like, man, wasn't that hard in high school. It can't be that hard now. I know I can still throw hard.
Yeah.
I stay in pretty good shape. I play catch. I do everything. Okay. So they're like, well, we know you had a good arm in high school. You think you still got it? I said, yeah, I still got it. I was just like, everything, like I was feeling myself at the time. Like, yeah, I still got it. They're like, well, come back, go to the AAA game today in the minor leagues, play, take tomorrow off, come back. Or it was like, take the day off, come tomorrow, and we'll throw this bullpen, see what you got. Say, okay. I go to the AAA game. I get like 4 hits. And in my head, I'm going like, holy shit, did I make a mistake? Why did I open my mouth and say this? Why would I say I want to pitch and I can still hit? And they, but I've already opened my mouth, bit off more than I could chew. Here we go. So I show up the day, throw this bullpen. Everybody in the organization's there. It's like the all the front office, all the pitching guys, the big league staff is there. They're here to watch this, and I'm playing catch, warming up, and just kind of flicking the ball. And I knew I had a good arm, so I'd been playing long toss all spring training, getting my arm in shape for the season, thinking I'm going to be an outfielder. And I go out there, I throw like 12 pitches, nice and easy. I didn't really step on the gas, didn't throw real hard, just throw the ball to the plate kind of thing. I'm wearing Oakleys at the time. Everybody's watching this. I get done. I say, you need to see anything else? And everybody like kind of walking off, shaking my hand, patting me on the back, all this stuff. And some of the people I'd never even seen before, to be honest with you. I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
I don't even know what office you came from.
But then, like the main group stays around and they're talking to me and they're saying, hey, like, this is your future. This is your calling. This is where, you need to do, get rid of those bats. You probably won't make it to the big leagues. If you do, it won't be like, all that much. And all I could think about is playing the outfield. That's all I want to do. I just want to go out there every day and run around and take hits away from people. That was like my thing. That was what I enjoyed, is going out to that outfield. Just, what if I go to AAA and I'll play the outfield when you want me to, but I'll show up every day and I'll do everything the pitchers do, and I'll throw bullpens, play catch, do the running, do all that good stuff that they do, and I'll hit. And when you put me in the outfield, I'll play the outfield. They had other guys that want to play over me. I said, okay. I said, when you get in these like one-sided games that happen everywhere all the time, especially in the minor leagues, where you start running short on pitching, you don't want to burn it for the rest of the week, but you're losing by 10 runs or something. You're going to put a position player in there. Put me out there.
Yeah.
Like, no. You need to go to extended. Forget about hitting. Just go to extended. You got a better chance of getting to the big leagues and sticking by doing this. So I'm sitting around thinking about this and thinking about it, stewing on it. Finally, I was like, hell, they're going to pay me a lot of money to go sit around here in Lakeland and do this. Not really sit around, but, like do this and like, all right, let's do it. So I had a camper and I parked it in a campground, Lakeland, Florida, and I just bass fished every day, went to the field and, played catch, did everything the pitchers do. And then when I got out of Lakeland, when they felt my arm was in shape and ready to go, or not out of Lakeland, but from extended, I went to high A. And then my first pitch was 99. And, and I threw 10 innings that year. And one of the funnier stories I have is I'm sitting there. We're in Daytona, Florida, playing against the Reds high A team, and things had just started to kind of click for me. It'd been up and down. Everybody's like, oh, he's got a big arm. He throws hard, good breaking ball. But I throw the ball off the backstop, and then I throw 3 down the middle, and then I walk 3 guys. It was just inconsistent. Finally, there was like this one game when it started to click. It was like coming along. And then I had this magical moment, light switch went off, and it fell into place. And it was 12 pitches, 3 strikeouts, strike out the side, 12 pitches. Nobody had a chance. And I walk down the right field line, and I sit down on the bench with the guys on the bullpen. And I put my arm up on the bench, and I said, well, boys, I'm going to the show. Right from high A. And that was like my second last outing before my elbow started acting up.
Oh, shit.
What did they say?
Oh, they didn't even know what to say. Like, they were just like sitting there, like jaw dropped, like, what just happened? And here I am, just kind of moseying on down.
No big deal.
Bench. Yeah, I'm like,
That's badass.
well, boys, I'm going to the show.
Who's some of the favorite players that you've played with? Like you were telling us, you hit one to Jeter and stuff like that. But who's kind of your favorite players that you played against? Not only for maybe their talents on the field, but just the guy.
Badass.
That's a cool dude.
I've played with a lot of great players. Brian Shaw is one of my really good friends. He's with Cleveland. Watching him and being able to appreciate what he did every day and how he did it and how he could throw every single day in a game. And it was like a rubber arm. This guy's played for over 10 years in the big leagues. He's played for 16 years. He's with the White Sox now. But like watching him and being able to appreciate what he did and how he did it every day. And like when you watch from a distance or something, you don't really think much of it. But when you're sitting there next to him every day and you see the leader he is, the way he went about his business, the way he, in the tough times, he wore it for the team. And, some of it for the, he had no control over. And to watch him do that every day was special to me. But like I said, I've played with a lot of great players. I played with Miguel Cabrera, Justin Verlander. I got to stand behind them. Bat leadoff 2015, and in the same lineup as JD Martinez, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, Nick Castellanos, Ian Kinsler.
The who's who.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were stacked in 2015, and I'm batting leadoff in front of these guys, and there's Hall of Famers on the field. I'm in the same clubhouse with them. David Price is a teammate, Cespedes and Justin Upton, and these guys. It was Joe Nathan, K-Rod, Francisco Rodriguez. I've been teammates with Jose Reyes, Encarnacion, Batista in Toronto.
I see these guys, they switch jerseys, after the game, like they'll swap jerseys. Did you ever get like any memorabilia signed or anything from anybody or?
Yeah, I've gotten some signed. To be honest with you, I probably should have got more.
Yeah. At the moment you're like, I'm his teammate. I don't know, I could see that, like, he needs my autograph type of shit. But when this guy, like you have a chance to get like Jeter's last autograph or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty cool.
One of the most special moments I've had on a baseball field was in 2014, shaking Derek Jeter's hand in a pitching change.
That's
Last
awesome.
time we were going to play against him, he was retiring that year. We're going to play against him, and we're in New York, and it's a pitching change. I want to say it was the seventh inning, and he had just hit a double. And we're changing pitchers, and I walked from center field to shake his hand, and I had goosebumps.
That's
It
cool.
was, and I have the picture on my phone, and I have it framed, and it's probably the most special moment I've had on a baseball field. Is like, as a kid, I grew up watching Derek Jeter.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like he's the shortstop for the New York Yankees. Everybody knows who Derek
He's
Jeter is.
the
Yeah.
shortstop.
He is the guy.
Yeah.
He's the man in baseball. He's everything to the game. But he's the Michael Jordan of baseball.
Absolutely. I would be the teammate would be like, let me get them gloves. Let me get them bat gloves. Let me get something at this moment. But
And so when I did I'll never ever forget that
that's awesome.
moment, is walking up to him and shaking his hand, just like, look, and he, with like 6'3", 6'4", maybe.
Mhm.
And I swear to you, it was like you were looking at the sky talking to him, because you felt like he was bigger than life.
Yeah. Imagine.
Like he like, this is Derek Jeter. It's like, he's bigger than life. You're like, I thought I was looking straight up at him at the stars, and I'm looking, almost eye to eye with him.
Yeah.
Was he cool?
Awesome.
Super cool.
Awesome.
Guys
time I
like
had a
that
second
probably
base, he
don't
knew my
even
name.
realize they're that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he just wants to play baseball, probably like everybody else out there.
He loved the game, and obviously he's Hall of Famer, unbelievably great at it, special talent. But he did everything the right way.
Yeah, you never heard about getting scandals or none of that trouble. So you were
J-Lo.
Yeah, that's I can try that one on.
I mean, scandal's a scandal. You got to have one every once in a while.
So like you were saying, like the hitting side was kind of, you're having some, going through that, and then the pitching kind of saved it, for you. The very first time you got to go and toe the mound up there, coming back as a pitcher, was that just as special as your first time in the bigs, like making it the first time ever, or what
It was more.
It was more.
It was more.
Because this was like your second chance, like you didn't give up.
And most
on your
people don't
dream.
get one chance.
You know what I mean? Like that is,
Yeah.
I think that's why, just meeting you and talking to you, like, you were, when I heard that story, I was like, whoa, that's a story in its own, to have a second chance at baseball, and most people don't have one. That's pretty cool.
I tell guys all the time, younger guys, I said, you only get one shot at this.
Mhm.
I don't know what I did to deserve a second shot. I don't know who, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I got two, and I'm very fortunate, very lucky for that. I don't know. I'll never understand how.
Yeah.
And I don't take it for granted. It's like I said, I told you before, like everything in my life, it sounds crazy, but I believe everything in my life is expendable to play this game.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm scared for the day it ends.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like I fear for the day that I'm done playing because I don't want it to end. People ask me, how long are you going to go? You know, I'm 32 and I'm like, another 15.
Yeah.
I'm going to play till I'm 45.
I think Cesar can relate on that a lot because, you know,
when you got a love for the game,
He's
it's
at
hard to
the
let
top.
go, right?
Yeah, he was at the top of his game, you know, for many years. Like to make the NFR one time is something, but this guy
The
made
World Series.
Yeah, he made this thing. He won the champ 9 times in a row. You know, he went to the big dance. That's
We
hard.
had a guy on here when we were up in Prescott, Kincaid Henry. He's 20 years old. He already made it to the finals once. And I asked him, I said, well, what are you going to do after rodeo? And I mean, that would be like asking him for the winning lottery numbers. He had no idea.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just rodeoing, man. I'm just living my life. And like, I don't know why. I talk to these guys all the time, right? This is what we do. And for some reason, that kid looking at me in the eyes and just saying, I don't know. I just want to rodeo. Like, he has no end in sight. Like, It's so cool that to meet somebody with that kind of passion. And that's the same thing you're saying. Like, I don't want it to end.
That's
Next time we talk to you, you might be a catcher. Who knows? You know, you'd be like, I caught a little in 6th grade.
I'll do whatever it takes to keep going.
Yeah. So in the dugout, you know, we talked a little bit about the dugout, but like, I love watching baseball because of the superstitions and like all the little things that go on. Like have you been around some pitchers, like when they come in the dugout, they go sit down on the end of the bench and nobody talks to them?
Yeah.
And that's something that they want. I mean, that's just the intensity they got for the game.
And I noticed like relievers, aren't relievers a little bit different than
Yeah.
starting pitchers? Like they kind of
A little bit different in the head.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
They're like the racehorse, right? They're just, I mean, they got one job.
Yeah.
Like one job. We're
We need
here
3
for
outs,
one job.
3
3
outs.
outs.
Yeah, 3 outs.
Yeah, and I mean, is that how they act all the time? Just
There's all kinds of different personalities. You know, like you've got, I mean, guys who are like from start to finish just as locked in as you can be, and you have guys who just kind of sit there and they're just kind of like whatever, but you put the ball in their hand and it's game time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you see all kinds of things people do and the way they go about things. And I mean, everybody has their own kind of like routine of how they do it. It's kind of, I mean, if you were to sit back and watch, you'd see 50 guys, you'd see 50 different things.
Yeah, how they approach the game.
How they all go about it. You know, nobody's the same. Everybody, all different walks of life from all over the world.
Yeah. Cultures.
Cultures. Learned it a different way and a different style. And then you put them all on this team together and it's just, you know, it's a melting pot of guys out there figuring out how to do one thing. That's win a game.
That's for sure.
And have you seen guys, like some guys show up in a Ferrari and then some other dude just shows up in a regular car or a regular truck, and it's just like everybody's getting a different thing out of baseball, right? Like you said.
Oh, you'd be amazed at the stuff you see. From the jewelry to the cars to everything. I mean, it'd blow your mind. You know, what some of the stuff people have and different things people are into. You know, like you'd be amazed at some of the card collectors that are in the game that have cards that, like a baseball cards and sports memorabilia cards that would blow your mind.
Yeah.
Collections worth, you know, most people's life earnings times 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, people who have, you know, 8, 10 cars.
Yeah.
And you have people who, you know, they've got jewelry worth more than you could ever dream of having, you know, things like that.
So, like, I mean, you don't have to say money or anything like that, but like, what was your first, like, when you got your check, what did you buy that was like, I'm buying this for me? Like, what did you buy?
The first thing I bought when I got drafted was I bought a GMC Sierra 3500.
There you go. There you go.
That was the first thing I bought.
That's awesome.
How does that work? Do you get like a check every Friday, or they just give you one lump sum, or
with your signing bonus when you get drafted, you get it in 2 parts. So like when I got my first part, the first thing I did was I walked in there and said, "This is the truck I want, and this is what like I'm gonna get it."
Yeah.
I bought my sister a car. You know, did some things for my family. Helped pay for college and housing for them, and did some things like that. Helped my grandparents and my parents, and then.
I mean, that's the American dream. That's so rewarding. You know what I mean? Like your hard work, and then, you know, like I think that's what you're supposed to. I mean, that's not what you're supposed to do, but you know what I mean. Like you had a real good relationship with all of your family members that you helped out. You know, so they had a part in. You know, so I think that's awesome. That's what I would do if I could do.
So if you're, but like when you're in the bigs or you're playing, like, how does it come? Does it come every Friday? It's
Every
just
2
crazy to
weeks.
me
Every 2
because I
weeks.
see these guys is like what the contracts they make, and I'm like, holy hell,
Yeah,
does that like get deposited in their account or do they
Every
get a
2 weeks
check
it
like
gets
everybody?
deposited.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild though.
And
To think that that's how that works. I mean, essentially, so you know, when you talk to these guys, that they're like, "Yep, it's my job." It is like a job because
Yeah.
they get paid every 2 weeks.
it's a job.
And-
It is. It's work. I mean, and the thing is that this one doesn't last forever.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You can go work at the post office till you're 85.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like you can go do something and sit behind a desk or
Get it
or
while
do
you
something.
can. You know.
You know, like
Yeah.
I mean, y'all farm. Like you can farm. I know farmers, and you know you can farm a long time in your life.
Yeah.
But not this.
Yeah.
You get a window to do it, and you know some people's is longer than others, and you just got to make the most of it when you got it.
Absolutely. That's
For you being a major league pitcher, can you break down when you're fixing to hit against a pitcher? Can you break him down a little bit and figure out, kind of read his mind, since you already know, you know what I mean, what to look for, what you're wanting to do on the plate when you're fixing to hit against him? Can you like he's gonna throw a curveball at me or he's gonna throw the fastball? Like
I wasn't very good at that. Like when I was a hitter, I looked for fastballs. I want to get ready to hit that, and that was part of the problem with me was I was only looking for one thing. I never got off of that. And then when they throw the breaking ball, they throw it 42 feet. You know, they're supposed to throw it 16,
Yeah,
16.
and
They
you're
throw
way
it
out.
42 feet. I've swung at it already.
yeah.
And
that's at the bigger level that they caught up on that. They're like, he's looking for this, so we're gonna do this.
I can't believe how much the ball moves.
Yeah,
like
they
that,
don't.
you know, like,
Those guys, they find something, they exploit it, and they stay there until you show that you're gonna make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And if you don't make an adjustment, you're gone.
Yeah. That's
So we know the era that you played in. If you could pick, and if it is the era you played in, that's fine. But is there any other era of baseball you would have liked to play in? You know, like from Babe Ruth to Jeter.
I don't know. I was fortunate enough that I got to play as and get up to the big leagues when these guys were still there. And they were, you know, now they were on the backside. Some of them were on the backside of their careers, but they were still playing. Guys that I watched on TV. You know, so you're standing there, you're looking at these guys, you know, David Ortiz and A-Rod and Jeter and Cano and Mariano Rivera and I don't know, like I said, there were so many guys that I got the chance to play against that, you know, they played a few more years maybe after, but I got to get like that transition of those guys.
kind of like you roping with some of them
yeah,
guys.
dude,
that's kinda
the
what I
same
was
thing.
getting- yeah, that's what
I
I
was
was
caught in the
thinking.
perfect mix. I'm still old school, but still in
Yeah.
the new school. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it was perfect mix. I got to hang out with all my heroes too.
That's what it was for me.
Yeah.
It worked out. The timing worked out that way.
That's amazing.
And so I don't think I would change the era because it's pretty special to see it, you know, see it then and how things were. And I have the memory of playing against these guys. I have the memory of, like I said, the first ball I put in play is Derek Jeter, standing at second base, shaking his hand.
Yeah.
I have the memory of facing Mariano Rivera, you know, the greatest closer of all time,
Yeah.
arguably. You know, and then I had the chance to pitch against, you know, who we were just talking about,
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani. I pitched against him last year,
That's crazy.
you know,
That is crazy.
and faced Mike Trout, and I got to stand next to. I've played against, and I faced Justin Verlander as a hitter, and then I've been on the same team and been his center fielder,
That's cool.
you know, and I've, you know, gone out there and picked up balls that Miguel Cabrera's hit to me in center field, and then a year or two later, I'm standing in the same clubhouse with them, getting on the plane with them, you know, and doing those things.
I seen an old interview a long time ago with Mark Grace, and somebody kind of asked him that same question, you know, about the era of baseball that he got to play in and stuff. And he said what changed from the beginning of his career to the end of his career was the hustle and the work ethic that the young baseball players have. He said when when I first started playing, he says, if we had a doubleheader, we'd play the first game and then we'd go get some beers and we'd sit around and we'd rest a little bit and then we'd go play the second game. We were baseball players. That's what we did. He goes, now we have a doubleheader. He's like, these guys, they all go to the gym and work out and like keep warmed up and they're ready to go, taking ice baths and all this shit. He says, the level that this game is going to is these athletes are elite. Like in every facet of the game, from the mental stability to the physical, they're just elite athletes, and we see that a lot in our world. Cesar's world that we talk about is the mental approach, the mental game. And if you could touch on that a little bit, if you have something to say about it, like that has to kind of, when you went into that office and they said they're going to move you down and then you go back up and you're being a pitcher, I mean, your brain's got to be all over the place, right? Like 1 minute, oh shit, I got to go pack up my bags. Next minute, oh wait, hold on, I'm going to get to pitch,
Yeah.
Like in the bigs, do they have like a mental game coach like side of that?
Yeah, that's really grown over the years. The mental part of the game and the people involved in it. And I mean, I think just in our organization alone, I could be wrong on this. Maybe don't quote me, but I want to say there's like 4 or 5 mental coaches, throughout the organization. And they have avenues to get you to other people that you might want to talk to in different areas of life and everything. Like the mental game the mental part of life and the game has really grown and become a huge thing that I would say probably wasn't there. Like when I first it wasn't as big a thing. Mm-hmm. And now it's a huge thing.
Yeah, because I mean, with as many games as you guys play, and I mean, there's got to be some guy out there that's got a problem with his wife, or he's fighting with somebody, or arguing this and that, and then it's going to affect his game. You know? And I've always wondered that. Like, is there somebody that you could go talk to? Like, hey man, I got to talk to somebody for a minute. Like, I got to get my head straight before we go out here and play. And these are things that if I don't play well, it affects my career, right? Every time you strike out, that's check, or whatever, and stuff like that. So I've always wondered that, like, is there the mental side to that?
They've got it. What I found was the best people to talk to was the people in that clubhouse that have been through it.
Yeah.
When you sit around, you're on the road and you go to somebody, one of the older guys' hotel rooms and you're talking to him and he's been through it. Mm-hmm. Like that's nothing against the people that do the mental coaches and things like that. It's not that they're not good at their job. I'm not taking anything away from them. They're great. They wouldn't have hired them if they weren't, especially in this organization. I can't speak on every organization, but this Cleveland is unbelievable and the way they treat and take care of their players. So like everybody they hire is with a purpose and is like pretty much the top of what they do. But like when you talk to that veteran player or that other guy and he's been there and done it, it sits a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when he talks about what he's been through and what he's gone through and how he got through it and sometimes just having that little reassurance from an older guy, like, hey, you're going to be all right, kid.
Yes.
You're going to be just fine. Just keep going. Like everybody's been through it.
Yeah. Are those guys usually pretty cool about it? Like,
yeah, you'd be amazed because a lot of those guys have been through it.
Right.
Nobody,
Mm-hmm.
There's so many games throughout the year. We play, you start in February and we're done the 1st of October with the regular season and the playoffs start. And it's every day we play.
And that's what I'm saying, man. And all those games, all those games, all those different personalities, all the families that are involved. I mean, everything all those guys do, that has to be the biggest up and down roller coaster there is,
It's a very tight knit thing. And I mean, I grew up going to PBR and watching bull riding and doing those things. Like my dad took us, we went and watched, when I was a kid, Justin McBride was the big guy on the PBR circuit.
Yeah.
Stud.
Yeah.
And turned into a stud commentator.
Yeah, he's doing really
great
good.
commentator.
Yeah. I mean, and I know like Brazilians are like huge in it.
Oh, yeah.
And like that young kid, I think he's pretty good. Like, well, yeah, JB Muni.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
superstar.
Vitor Leme.
Like he's like,
Yeah.
But
It's even translated the one of the best, or the two-time world champion right now. Cesar sold the horse he's riding Cesar's horse. He's from Brazil on the roping side. So like the Brazilians, they're no joke, and they're real cowboys.
I love to go to rodeos. I love PBR and bull riding and things like that. Now I've never been on nothing like that.
Yeah.
I've ridden horses, but like we just sold a horse. We had an Appaloosa. We just sold her last summer. So I love riding horses. I love doing that stuff. But yeah, like I mean, it'd be like that. Like if somebody was struggling doing that, you know, and like would he be better off going and talking to?
Yeah, that's
you know.
They go talk to somebody like a timer or one of them guys, like you know, Cody Lambert. They're always talking to Cody, but like you're right. It's somebody that's been there, that's had that struggle, that worked their way out of it, is going to know how to get out of it better than somebody that thinks
they know.
That thinks that they know. That's how you get out of it, right?
And it's nothing against them. It's not that they can't help you,
Right.
You know, that's
you
not
just probably feel more
just hits
comfortable.
different.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a little bit different when you hear it from them.
Because you know that they've been through it.
There's a
You know what I mean?
respecting, right? An elite level athlete talking to another elite level athlete, you will respect every word that's coming out of their mouth.
So Cesar, you don't got to throw anybody under the bus, but I would imagine you get some calls around Vegas time.
Yep.
From some of them healers at
Shit,
that level.
he gets calls from me.
Yeah.
I've been breaking it down with Peyton Bray here lately. A
Have
little
you?
bit. Yeah, it's a real talented kid. He was just a little bitty guy following me around at the ropings, you know, and kind of watching me, and to see him now, I'm kind of helping him out and stuff. And he's a world class roper. It's pretty neat, you know. Like the next generation are kind of wanting knowledge, especially like to get to the next level. Like they're hungry for it. So like it's pretty neat to talk to some of these guys, and like you talk about like when they're struggling, and it's like I know how to get out of that. You know, I've been through it, so this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
You can't lose your mind for sure, right? You got to keep your mind together and just kind of work your way out of it. And if you're willing to dedicate yourself and work hard, you'll get out of any slump, I think.
All right, well, hey, we're back with the podcast, and we still got the main man here talking. We're actually, no bullshit, we're talking about hunting pigeons. That's what we're talking about. And yeah, the stories, we just brought up duck hunting. So, and he was saying that you've been like in Monroe, Louisiana, where Duck Dynasty is and all that. And
Yeah, I've hunted out there. We went out there this year. Me and my best friend, Joel Mangrum, the pitching coach. I had him come out, and a couple, Tebow's dad and his brother-in-law, and we went out and we had a really good time at Mallard Crossing in Monroe, Louisiana.
do you ever get to meet any of the Duck Dynasty guys?
I've never met them. My parents have been to the place, you know, to go check it out, and my buddy's been there and everything.
If I
I've
get
never
close,
met
I'm
'em.
going to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that
worth
was
seeing.
Pretty cool,
Yeah, I mean, you know, you watch them on TV, so it's worth seeing and going and checking out.
I wish they would do like and maybe they do have it, I just don't never see it, but like a behind the scenes. One time I was watching an episode and they were looking for the original patent for the duck call, like the original one, and they
In the
went,
sheds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they went out in Phil's shed and they found it, but they didn't really talk too much about the shed, right? Like I think that'd be cool to get to see all that, to see where it started, and to see, because that truly is showing somebody's dream right there. Like that dude's freaking in like a tough shed in the backyard, whittling these things out of wood and making it happen. But do you think he did that just because he's got the sound in his ear and he can just make that sound work? Or
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how true this is, but he's supposed to be like a superstar football player. Was going
Oh, he was, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like, and he was going to go play college football, and he was in front of Terry Bradshaw.
yeah, I actually heard Bradshaw tell the story. Terry
And-
Bradshaw said, I'm very thankful that Phil Robertson wanted to go hunt ducks
And
because
I
I'd have never got my shot.
yeah, and he just was like, they were like, hey, this is going to interfere with duck hunting. And he was like, yeah, I'm out.
Wow. You're like the only
I was
person
just
I was
gonna
gonna
say.
say. You're not too far from that.
You're not too far from that. I think your love of baseball overcomes your love of hunting, but it's running a close second.
It's right up there.
It's
You know,
right
like
up
I really do. I love it. I enjoy it. I mean, let me get to go out here and shoot these pigeons. I can't get enough. Like I said,
It's probably good for the soul, the brain, right?
oh,
Just
And he keeps saying he can't get enough, and I'm like, I can't wait till spring training next year.
yeah, we're gonna be like, me and
Hell
Craig
yeah.
and Cesar gonna go to the game. We're gonna be like, where's Brandon?
I'm on
Next
the-
thing we know, he's down there on the field.
I'm the ball boy on the sideline. I told you this podcast is gonna be something to get out of it. I told you.
Yeah,
I'm the bat boy.
you're the bat boy over there for the Indians.
Hell yeah.
So, we asked during the break, but I got to bring it up, man. You play for we'll pretend it's the 2015, the Indians, and like somebody has to come out to Wild Thing. You said one of your friends wears 99 or something.
he wears 99. Really good buddy of mine. Special talent too. He really is. He's a special talent, but he wears number 99. A couple years ago, he had the haircut, the Rick Vaughn haircut. He wears his pants the same way and everything. Like, he's a character, but he's a guy that I've been around now a couple years, and his name's James Karinchek, and he's a special kid. He's got a special talent. He's got a big arm, and he's really talented. And that's a guy who pushes me. The way he goes about things and the way how hard he works. There aren't too many people who work as hard as that kid does there.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
What's your favorite baseball movie of all time? And I don't ask that just because we're talking about Major League. But
I don't know. Major League is up there, but Field of Dreams is always, that Kevin Costner movie is a good one. I don't know. I mean, like the whole thing with the, Willie Mays Hayes and Major League is pretty cool. I stole some bases when I was younger, so it was like, you might
what's
run
yours,
like,
Brandon?
Man.
you hit like shit.
Yeah, he made you feel like shit. And he was just popping them up. And then in the game, he started doing the push-ups.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked Angels in the Outfield. That was mine back in the day. Angels in the Outfield.
What about you, Cesar?
Shoot, man. I'm gonna have to say Major League for sure. That's Wild Thing, man.
I'm going to show you guys my soft side. Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Bull Durham.
Yeah, it's classic.
I love that show.
Pedro Serrano was funny, dude.
Oh,
Major League.
Pedro Serrano. Yeah. Do you get some characters like that in the bigs where you're just like, dude, this guy's fucking weird, bro?
You get a group of them, right? They're all different.
It's like everybody's different. You'd be amazed at some of the personalities you come across.
But that's the cool thing about baseball, right? All these different, and like you said, from all different walks of life, different countries, different everything, and they're all working towards
To
a
win a
common
game.
goal.
Yeah.
Like
The
they
same thing.
have-
To work
bat
as one.
and a ball. And
Yeah.
What's who's your favorite, or who's the most famous person you got in your phone, in your contacts? Who's the most famous person?
Besides Brandon.
I know I'm up there now.
Pigeon King.
One of his favorites
Is
now,
that my
dude.
name, Pigeon King?
No, your name on my phone is Brandon Dove AZ.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you
I
go.
like it. I like it.
I don't know. Well, I mean, like I've got, like buddies I play with.
Yeah.
Like Karinchek and, pretty much all the pitchers from, the team. Shane Bieber, I guess, I've got his number. He's
That's
he's our ace there.
Yeah.
Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm just trying to figure out our next guest for the podcast. I'm
Yeah, I
trying
mean,
to
I don't-
Well, actually, you need to ask him then. Who's your best hunting buddy?
Yeah. Who else? Yeah.
That's our bribe
And
over
then,
here.
and then with say one of your friends that really don't go hunting, then this is not really hunting over here. This is more like
Oh, this is
killing.
killing.
You know what I mean?
This
So
is
this is
slaughtering.
a lot more
slaughtering.
people would like to enjoy this than sitting, in a
Well,
blind.
like,
maybe,
what do you always say? You're not a hunter.
I'm a
you're
gatherer.
gatherer.
Yeah, I'm a hunter. Some are hunters. I'm a gatherer. I'll get them berries.
Yeah.
But like when I go up to Nebraska, I'm in this club in Nebraska and this group of guys, and like I love to watch the ducks work. Like I think that's pretty cool.
What do you
And
mean by that? Like how they fly?
how they come in and getting them like Chris Jobman, he does the calling, and like he's working these ducks, and I've been around some guys who can work ducks and they're unbelievable. I got a buddy, Jordan Giss, like he's an unbelievable duck caller. And I've been around some guys who they can just blow a duck call and like the sound and getting the ducks to respond and do what you want them to do. I mean, turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Watching a turkey come in and you'll get around some guys. I love the turkey hunt. I love it. And they come in and they strut and blow up and to like get them to come in and and they don't know you're there, and they think this is real.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a special feeling. You know, or being in a deer stand. I love to bow hunt. That's all I do. I only kill them with a bow, and to be up in a stand and have a deer walk within 15 yards and not know you're there.
Yeah, that's
Like I
cool.
killed that giant in Missouri. I think I sent you a
Yeah.
picture of it on state land. Me and my dad, we went up there, and I killed that giant, and he was inside 15 yards from me. I had no clue I was up that tree 20 feet
That's crazy.
on state land.
Yeah.
In Missouri, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
What's a big hunt you want to go on? Something you'd like to go after?
He brought it up last week or something. I mean, I would love to go kill a massive bull elk with my bow, and to hear them bugle and to hear that sound. And I've been in Texas on one of those high fence ranch. I've heard it, and it's a special sound. I'd love to be out there in a place and hear them go off, and like it's like the most beautiful sound in the world.
Yeah.
And then like I said, you hear a turkey gobble first thing in the morning coming off the roost and blow up, and it's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
hear ducks work, a big raft of duck. I don't know. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
I really do. I love being out there doing it. I love hearing it.
Do you see yourself maybe after baseball, like maybe as a guide or like doing something? I mean, what's your plans after baseball? I mean, retire and just conduct hunt, coach. Yeah, that way you're still in the game.
That's what I'm
I
doing.
don't
man.
want it to end.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Like I said, it's just something that scares me.
Yeah,
It's the
absolutely.
day that it's going to end.
Oh,
Because it's
absolutely.
going to end for everybody.
I feel that even in my industry right here, with the housing going in, like I know sometime soon there's going to be a big change in my life. I'm going to have to go to a place I've never been before, or I'm going to have to do something. I know that my
I think
point
that's
is coming.
everybody's
You know what I mean?
fear. Like if you do something for yourself and you're not like punching a clock, you know what I mean? That's everybody's fear.
Yeah.
That eventually what you're doing is going to change.
Like the comfortability, like I've been at the same property for this many years, knowing like I'm not going to pull up to here one day. Like that's different. I get it.
We were talking about this earlier, but we have a friend named Austin McManus, and he guides hunts on those high fence ranches over in Texas, and we all have a little thing amongst ourselves about when we get to a certain level with this podcast, we're going to go. And I couldn't think of anybody better to bring along with us than you. So when we get ready to go, man, you're going to get a text message from Brandon AZ Dove, and it's going to say, we're going to kill some big shit in Texas. Our buddy Austin's going to hook it up. So.
Yeah.
I would love to. Like I said, I try to go any chance I get. I'm the guy that people, they say, hey, you should come hunt with me one day. I get their number, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'm gonna show up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show up.
Like the Mortensen boys,
Yeah,
the rig
that's what I was
back,
thinking.
I'm gonna show up.
Some people they're like, oh yeah, I'll be there, and they never show. Like I'm the guy that if you offer, I'm gonna make a point to try and be there.
Cesar flew in last night or today actually from Montana. He's way up there by the Canadian border, and I'm sure you got a bunch of stuff up there to shoot.
Man, there's deer everywhere. We raise them right there in our yard. Like we have 12 acres right there, and there's a deer family, a doe that has had I don't know how many young over there. And like I wake up in the morning, 5, 6 in the morning, go feed horses, and she's kind of out walking through there. There's a wheat field right behind, so they leave my backyard right there and go to the wheat field. It's like deer everywhere, and squirrel everywhere up there too. I live right next to a beaver pond, and so like the birds, man, wildlife, you have like all kinds of different sandhill cranes and stuff like that. And have you ever? That was something I was going to ask you. Have you ever hunted the sandhill crane?
I haven't. I have buddies who have. One of my good buddies, Jordan, he shot some. He shot 1 or 2 this year in Alabama, and they say it's the ribeye of the sky.
That's what I was going to say.
They say it's the best
Really?
eating bird you can have.
Yeah.
Huh.
I've never had it. I mean, they said that about speckled belly geese too. And
Yeah.
I mean, we had some of those. We went to Arkansas one year and we got into them pretty good. And my buddy's dad fried them up, and
Especially they know how to cook them, right?
Yeah.
It's delicious.
and it was unbelievable.
I told you about that guy that comes every year from Kansas and that guy from New York, and they hunt right downtown 59th Avenue in Southern. They set the blinds up. The baby grain comes out of the ground. Then they just land and they just start pecking. And these guys, boom, boom. And the same thing. He's like, this is some of the best hunting you would never think in downtown Phoenix. Like crazy as hell.
If I get the invite, I'll be.
No, you
No.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we better go let this guy rest and clean his guns up because
Yep.
you know there's gonna be more pigeons out there tomorrow.
Oh yeah, he's got a pitch too.
Yeah, he's got to go ahead and pitch tomorrow too. Get that out of the way real quick so he can go hunt.
Heck yeah.
That's what I did today.
Yeah.
Went to the field for a couple hours. What are you gonna do? I'm going to shoot some birds.
Got your priorities right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
All right,
the-
man.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and it was
Thank you.
fun.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I really
no
appreciate
problem.
it, guys.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Thank you.